The ancient Greeks didn't create their gods to comfort them. They created them to explain why the world was so cruel. These were not gentle spirits watching over humanity. They were violent, jealous, and dangerously powerful beings who shaped civilizations, destroyed cities, and turned mortals into monsters for sport. Today we're ranking the 10 most powerful gods of Greek mythology, from the cunning to the catastrophic. And number 1 might not be who you expect. Starting at number 10, Hermes. Most people know him as the messenger god, the one with winged sandals who delivered notes between Olympus and Earth. But that reputation hides something far darker. Hermes was the god of thieves, liars, and tricksters. On the day he was born, he crawled out of his cradle, stole 50 sacred cattle from Apollo, and invented the lyre out of a tortoise shell just to bribe his way out of punishment. He was hours old. Hermes was also the psychopomp, the one who guided dead souls into the underworld. Every person who ever died in the Greek world passed through his hands. He walked between the realm of the living and the realm of the dead more freely than any other god. That kind of access to both worlds made him more dangerous than most Olympians ever realized. Number 9, Artemis. Twin sister of Apollo, goddess of the hunt, the wilderness, and the moon. Artemis asked her father Zeus for eternal virginity at the age of 3, and she got it. She also asked for a silver bow, a pack of hunting hounds, and dominion over every mountain on Earth. She roamed the forests with her followers, and her rules were absolute. The hunter, Actaeon, stumbled upon her bathing in a stream. She turned him into a deer, and his own dogs tore him apart. When Orion, some say the only man she ever cared for, got too close, he ended up dead. Whether she killed him herself or was tricked into it by Apollo depends on the version, but the result was the same. Artemis didn't forgive, and she never forgot. Number 8, Ares, the god of war, and not the noble kind. Ares represented the brutal, bloody, chaotic side of battle, the kind where soldiers lose themselves entirely. He was hated by almost every other god on Olympus, including his own parents. Zeus once told him he was the most despised of all his children. In the Trojan War, Ares fought for Troy and was wounded by the mortal hero Diomedes, guided by Athena's hand. A god, stabbed by a human, screaming so loud that the sound was described as 10,000 soldiers crying out at once. He fled back to Olympus in pain and humiliation. Ares had raw power, but no strategy, no loyalty, and no respect from anyone around him. Number 7, Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and desire. But calling her a love goddess misses the point entirely. Aphrodite wielded desire as a weapon. She could make gods turn on each other, armies abandon their posts, and kings destroy their own kingdoms over a single face. The Trojan War, which killed tens of thousands, started because Aphrodite promised Helen, the most beautiful woman alive, to the prince Paris. She didn't care about the consequences. She wanted to win a beauty contest. Aphrodite's power wasn't physical strength. It was control over the most irrational force in the universe, human want. Even Zeus himself wasn't immune. Number 6, Apollo. God of the sun, music, prophecy, healing, and plague. Apollo could cure any disease, and he could send one just as easily. During the Trojan War, he fired plague arrows into the Greek camp for 9 straight days because their commander insulted one of his priests. Thousands of soldiers died before anyone figured out what was happening. Apollo also ran the oracle at Delphi, the most powerful religious site in the ancient world. Kings, generals, and entire nations made their biggest decisions based on prophecies that came through his temple. He shaped the course of history not through force, but through information. He decided what people knew and when they knew it. Halfway through our ranking at number 5, Athena, goddess of wisdom, strategy, and warfare. Unlike Ares, Athena represented war with a plan. She was born fully armored from the skull of Zeus after he swallowed her pregnant mother. And from that moment, she became his favorite child. Athena guided heroes like Odysseus and Perseus through their most dangerous trials. But she was equally ruthless to anyone who crossed her. When the mortal weaver Arachne dared to claim her tapestry skills surpassed a goddess, Athena destroyed the woman's work and turned her into a spider for eternity. Athens, the most powerful city-state in the ancient world, was named after her. She won that honor by giving the city an olive tree, while Poseidon offered a saltwater spring. The city chose practical wisdom over raw force, and that choice defined Western civilization. Number 4, Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, grain, and fertility of the earth. She may sound peaceful compared to gods of war and thunder, but Demeter held a power none of them could match. She controlled whether crops grew or died, which meant she controlled whether humanity ate or starved. When Hades abducted her daughter Persephone and dragged her into the underworld, Demeter's grief shut down the entire natural world. Nothing grew. Fields turned to dust. Livestock died. Humanity was on the edge of extinction, and the other gods couldn't stop it. Zeus himself had to intervene and negotiate Persephone's partial return. The deal they struck is why the Greeks believed seasons existed. When Persephone is above ground, the world blooms. When she descends back to Hades, winter comes. Demeter proved that the quietest power is sometimes the most absolute. Number 3, Poseidon, god of the seas, earthquakes, and storms. Poseidon controlled over 70% of the Earth's surface and everything beneath it. When he struck his trident against the ground, the Earth split open. Coastal cities lived and died by his mood. He flooded entire regions, wrecked armadas, and created new islands when it suited him. After the Trojan War, Odysseus blinded Poseidon's son, the Cyclops Polyphemus. Poseidon's revenge lasted 10 years. He turned a simple voyage home into a nightmare of shipwrecks, monsters, and death that killed every single one of Odysseus's crew. Poseidon didn't just rule the ocean, he was the ocean. Unpredictable, ancient, and completely without mercy. Number 2, Hades, king of the underworld and ruler of every soul that ever lived and died. Hades didn't fight for Olympus or involve himself in mortal wars. He didn't need to. Every living thing eventually ended up in his kingdom, gods included in some versions of the myths. He owned a helmet of invisibility, forged by the Cyclopes during the war against the Titans. He had Cerberus, the three-headed dog, guarding his gates. And he possessed something no other god had: patience. While his brothers fought over the sky and sea, Hades sat on his throne in the dark and waited, knowing that time delivered everything to him eventually. The ancient Greeks feared him so deeply that they refused to say his name out loud, calling him instead the Unseen One, or the Wealthy One, because all the minerals and gems beneath the earth belonged to him too. And number 1, Zeus, king of the gods, ruler of the sky, and the single most powerful figure in Greek mythology. Zeus overthrew his own father, Kronos, who had swallowed all of his children to prevent a prophecy about being dethroned. Zeus freed his siblings, led the Olympians in a 10-year war against the Titans, and won. He divided the world among his brothers, giving Poseidon the seas and Hades the underworld, while keeping the sky and supreme authority for himself. His weapon was the thunderbolt, forged by the Cyclopes, capable of leveling mountains and incinerating anything in its path. But Zeus's real power wasn't the lightning. It was the fact that every god, titan, and monster in existence either obeyed him or feared him enough to pretend they did. He wasn't fair, he wasn't faithful, and he wasn't kind. But he was the one who held everything together, and without him, the entire order of the universe would collapse back into chaos. Those are the 10 most powerful gods of Greek mythology, ranked from trickster to tyrant. If you think the order should be different, tell me in the comments which god you would put at number 1. Subscribe if you want to see every Norse god ranked next, and I'll see you in that video.